Okay, well, it's been about 5 months. I think I'm ready to talk about this movie. Oh no. No.
Call me Artemis Fowl. I never started this, but now it's getting heavy.
No. Okay, so the Artemis Fowl movie was bad. Really bad. We all know it, but hey, it's not the book's fault. The movie took more than a few creative liberties with the source material. Speaking as a fan of the books, not the movie, I just want to specify that again, I can say that the books are great. And there's a lot of moments that would have been really cool to see on screen. But alas, with a movie that sucked this hard, I'm thinking that we would be hard-pressed to get a sequel, and to be honest, I don't really want one at this point. I could make a feature-length film on why this movie sucked, but I'm not here for that negativity. Rather, let's just be apathetic and accept the fact that we'll never get a decent adaptation of these fantastic books. Without further ado, here are scenes from Artemis Fowl that would have been really cool to see on screen, but we probably never will because Disney sucks. So I tried to pick one scene from each book, and I picked scenes that don't really have any major plot spoilers, so that this video can also serve those willing to give reading a try. I actually don't hate the casting of Nonzo Anozie as Butler. I don't hate that casting, you know, as long as you don't think too hard. But I was severely let down by his usage in the movie. He dies, but oh no, he doesn't. It's really quite disappointing because Butler gets a majority of the kick-ass scenes in the books. I mean, come on. You got a guy who played literal Samson, and all you're gonna make him do is shoot projectiles? Come on now. Anyway, we are starting this list off with a bang, because I don't know if there's any that can top this. Just like in the movie, in the book, the fairy police send in a troll to wreak havoc inside the house, inside Fowl Manor. But the troll is described a little differently. This guy looks like Curious. I mean, what is it? A monkey? What a monkey baby? No, give me a 9-foot-tall apex predator with 10-inch tusks laced with narcotic venom any day. Give me this pure, deadly hunter over the freaking missing link any day. Body of a gorilla, brain of a dolphin, tusks of the wildest boar, blood frenzy of a shark, and the forehead of an honest-to-god Pachycephalosaurus, which can take point-blank bullets. So yes, the troll destroys the house for a bit, and Butler, my man, gets absolutely wrecked. And yes, the movie was more or less correct in saying that he nearly died and Holly healed him. However, the troll is still hunting. That's not the end of it, okay? It's about to slip its claw underneath Juliet's ribcage to pop her actual heart. I'm quoting from the book here. But of course, Butler can't stand for that. So what does he do after getting absolutely murked the first time? He puts on a suit of medieval armor and kicks the ever-loving guy out of this thing with a mace and his semi-automatic. Like, come on. Imagine seeing that on the big screen. It would be like watching John Wick fight a gorilla with claws in the International Medieval Combat Federation World Championship, and also with a gun. I mean, the rating would have to be raised to like PG-13, but that's what we want. Okay, honestly, you could probably stop the video right now because that's the scene. That's the scene that I wanted to see.
Warning, things I only dreamed may be close.
Okay, so in book 2, The Arctic Incident, Artemis is looking for his father, who is kidnapped by the Mafia. That's already, you know, pretty sick as it is. Not for him, I mean. But this second book holds a special place in my heart because I did a book report on it in grade 5. Things get hairy in this one. A sprite gets a hole in his wing, Holly loses a finger, and this guy gets his face melted. But my chosen scene is close to the end, so I guess minor spoilers ahead. Basically, Artemis orders Butler to shoot his father. Like, just imagine the shock of seeing that in a movie for the first time, right? The whole plot is working towards saving this guy, and then he just gets shot and dumped in the Arctic Ocean. Artemis Fowl is a super difficult story to adapt. It would be just super hard to find an actor who's able to pull off the main character, but I feel like this scene especially, it would just be a great opportunity to show off his chops, you know?
I just saw what I couldn't believe.
Look at these kind of like Ocean's 11, except I don't fall asleep halfway through. It's a beautifully executed heist. Seeing Artemis's plans come together is like the most satisfying part of any of the books, and this one does it to perfection. But I chose a scene that wasn't really necessary, because it's kind of after the climax and part of the resolution, to be honest, so it's not really necessary for the plot, but holy moly, is it ever badass. Basically, a henchman of the main antagonist. He's looking to escape from the country, because obviously he's a bad boy. But he gets stopped by an airport security dude who received the tip-off from Butler. Lo and behold, Butler shows up and traumatizes this man. He's wearing like a high-tech fairy invisibility cloak, so he sneaks into the holding cell and pretends he's Ghost. It's really hard to do justice to the menace. Basically, he just tells this guy that he's gonna end up in hell. And he'll be waiting when he gets there. Yeah, let me just read this section. So he shows up out of the blue.
I am your guide, Arno. I've come to take you home. There are a lot of people waiting to see you.
Home? What do you mean?
You know what I mean, Arno. Home. The place you've always been headed. The place you've sent so many others.
You stay away from me. I killed you once. I can do it again.
Butler laughed. It was not a pleasant sound.
That's where you're wrong, Arno. I can't be killed again. Anyway, death is no big deal, not compared to what comes after.
What comes after?
There's a hell, Arno.
I've seen it and believe.
There is a hell, Arno. I've seen it, and believe me, so will you.
I don't care what you may say, so dive into you.
Multidiggums the Dwarf cripples an entire submarine using only his lungs and punches a hole in its chassis using only his head and his flatulence. That is all. So the fifth book involves time-traveling demons, so that's exciting. But the scene I've picked is that of a pixie who commandeers a child's toy car, one of those little thingies, and he speeds it through a fortified mansion, Fast and Furious style. I just think this would be an awesome filming experience. Just picture a toy car, one of those powered ride-ons that you were always jealous of, but boosted by fairy technology, going fast as down the hallway, getting shot at by security guards, and blasting through a window, while all assortment of armies are raging outside. Somebody give Michael Bay one, and we'll be all set. The climax of this one is also very intense. Lots of glitches in time, swords in guts, bombs going off, all that good stuff.
Don't you forget.
So book 6 is called The Time Paradox, and yes, it comes with all the confusion that time travel implies.
Time travel!
But the final showdown of this book is possibly the most action-packed of them all. Artemis is holding a lemur while trying to escape a black magic-infused pixie who's chasing him down. He shoots her in the face with a flare gun, but the plane still crashes, and it's just very exciting. Also a kraken. It's getting a lot harder to pick scenes without spoilers here. Were you turned off by Split's villainization of a very real mental disorder? Well, then look no further, because in this 7th installment of the Artemis Fowl series, it's the hero who has two personalities. It is a symptom of a fictional fairy disease, so it carries less weight socially. I think it'd be really neat to have, as I already said, a good actor carry this out. Like the Golden Trio in Harry Potter, it'd be lovely to see an actor grow from adorably cheesy into a legitimate performer. Artemis's alter ego, Orion, he provides a lot of the laughs in this one, so it would be fun to see. One of the greatest trepidations I had going into the movie adaptation, besides everything, was how they would pull off showing off the dwarves' talents. Because on paper, I'll be fully honest, it's terrifying. There's a lot of dwarf body horror that goes on, so I was worried how they would pull it off, and justifiably so, because they made it so much worse. But for this last scene in the last book, Josh Gad wouldn't have had to scar anybody, because Mulch the Dwarf rides a troll. You remember that troll I was talking about earlier? I've been raving about the trolls enough in this video, but I almost tear up just thinking about a dwarf riding one of those bad boys. It could have been beautiful. Close second for this book, a swarm of deadly crickets attacking in biblical ferocity. So that's scenes that I would have really liked. Oh well. Maybe we'll get a TV adaptation in 10 years like Percy Jackson did. Who knows? Like, comment, and subscribe, please. If this gets 500 likes, I will buy a onewheel and attempt the Artemis Fowl physics-defying jump.
Yeah!